Hello classmates and welcome to my English 1110 Language and Literacy Project Part 2. This was originally meant to be a podcast episode, but since I was supposed to add video and images to it anyway, I figured, well, I'm just gonna record a video. But I hope you like it, and well, first of all, I'm gonna introduce myself and this project. Well, my name is Pamela Dominguez, and I know most of you already know me from the English 1110 class, or well, you already know my voice. I am Mexican, I am 22 years old, and I am an aerospace and mechanical engineering student here at New Mexico State University. This is the first time I'm living far away from my home country, which is Mexico. I've been living here in Las Cruces since January of this year, 2021, and this has been a huge change for me. First of all, talking about language, I've never lived in a country that speaks English for its official language. I've only lived in Mexico and we speak Spanish there. About me, I don't know how much to tell you. I am a movie enthusiast. I love music. I play the guitar. I play the electric guitar as well. I play the bass. Music plays a huge part in my life. I love doing sports too. I've been in a swimming team since I was a kid. I do yoga and well, I enjoy almost every sport. I love watching soccer, as you call it here, but I call it football. And last but not least, I am really a science enthusiast. Well, something you must know is that I am a transfer student from Mexico, from the University of Chihuahua. I've been studying there aerospace engineering for 2.5 years, and I'm supposed to finish mechanical and aerospace engineering here at NMSU. And back there I was the president of the science club because I really love science. I love everything about science. I love the stars, I love the space, I love learning new things, and I think that defines me as a person, because if it weren't for that, I wouldn't be studying a STEM career. And well, let's start talking about this project. The first section I'm going to be presenting to you in this video is called How Reading Gave Me Purpose. But basically what I talk about here is that I kind of compare myself with Malcolm X. We read that essay in the English 1110 class, and we see how his life completely changed when he started reading and when he started understanding words, and when he started getting involved with all these revolutionary things that started to light a spark in him. And I kind of like to believe something similar happened to me, even though it's really different. But well, when I was a teenager, or well, a pre-teenager, I didn't enjoy reading at all. I always wanted to start reading, and as soon as I picked up a book, it was like, I don't like this. I'd rather do something else, like something easier, because we know reading is not as easy as watching TV, as watching a TV show or something. So I was going to the easy path until one time I found this book. And I know you're gonna laugh because it's completely a teenager's book, but I read Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban because it was laying there in my house. My sister had it, and I just picked it up, mere curiosity, and I started reading and reading and reading, and I fell in love. I finished the Harry Potter saga in like 3 months. There are 7 official books and then 3 extra books that are short ones. And then I started reading, and I know it's kind of dumb and it's kind of fun the way I encounter myself with reading, but I think it's a really good start because that led me into so many more things. Anyway, after I finished reading the Harry Potter saga, I started reading a lot of fiction. I started with the Lord of the Rings trilogy from Tolkien, with A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. And I think that, well, I started with a lot of fiction, and I see it kind of like a stair. I started with the easy part, with teenage books, with books for kids, with books specifically directed to young people, so it's easy to construct the habit of reading. And then I moved on to reading some kind of poetry. I'm not gonna say I do read a lot of poetry because I read a little bit, but I started liking it, which made a huge impact in my life. And a quick interlude here, as I said before, I'm a huge movie enthusiast. The main reason I wanted to start reading poetry, it's because of the movie Dead Poets Society. I recommend it. But anyway, after reading poetry, then I started with the scientific disclosure. And then I met this amazing man named Carl Sagan. He has a lot of scientific disclosure books. My favorite one being Cosmos, which I'm sure you've heard of. It literally changed my life completely. And when I come to this part, I remember again Malcolm X, because I know you are wondering, what does all of this has to do with Malcolm X? Well, I remember very well that in his autobiography he mentions that after reading his first book, he's like shook completely. His mind opened, his world changed, and he had now a purpose. He had now something to live for. He encountered himself with these subjects he was passionate about. And that's what happened to me when I entered the world of scientific disclosure. I met this amazing knowledge. I started reading scientific articles. I started learning about astronomy. And then I knew I wanted to study aerospace engineering. So that's why this section is called How Reading Gave Me Purpose, because I'm completely sure that if it wasn't for reading, I wouldn't be studying aerospace engineering, because what got me here was a passion I discovered thanks to reading, thanks to this amazing world that opened to me, thanks to all those books and those amazing authors. And I know all of us can start from the bottom like I did, like from the bottom of the stair, and then go up and up and up until the thing you like, until the thing that gives you that gives you purpose, the things that makes you want to live, and the thing that you are passionate about. And that's what happened to me. That's what I believe, that reading gave me purpose, and that I am right here now in Las Cruces because one time I picked up a Harry Potter's book. And I know it's funny, but it is the way it is. Okay, before going to section 3 of my video of this project, I have to apologize because I get a little too excited there. But yeah, we're going to section 3 now, in which I'm going to talk about my home country, my native language, which is Spanish, and my hometown, which is Milwaukee, Chihuahua. Well, first of all, I'm going to talk about my home country. I'm not gonna talk as much about it because Mexico is 2 hours from here, less than 2 hours, so perhaps most of you are very familiar with it, and maybe you even have ascendants from there. So I'm just going to talk about how I love Mexico. I love its culture. I love the delicious food, the amazing people, and the beautiful landscapes. And the thing I'm going to talk about is that in Mexico we speak Spanish, which is defined as a Romance language. There are several Romance languages, such as French or Italian or Portuguese, and all of these languages come from Latin. I love that in Spanish you never run out of expressions. You can say I love you in so many ways, like te amo, te adoro, me importas, te quiero. There are so many ways, and each of them means something different, something specific, something very special. Something I really enjoy about Spanish is that even the way you tell a story changes, because we Mexican people and the people who speak Spanish will understand how much we exaggerate, how much we add emotion, expression, passion to a story, to a simple story. And I love that, and I love that about my culture, because I think that's the way Mexican people is as well. I think Mexican people is so passionate about everything, and I think Mexican people, it's so sharing and it's so loving, and I really miss Mexican people. Even the way they treat you when you go to a store, the closeness you feel with everyone. I don't know, it's really something else. And I think that really relates to language, because we have so many ways to say I love you. We have so many ways to say anything. We add so much drama, like we would say in Spanish, le pones crema a los tacos, which means that you add so much emotion, you exaggerate, you make all this big story out of nowhere. And I don't know, I think people in Mexico are really full of energy, full of stories to tell. And I think we are really a warm and kind culture, and I love that. And I really see the contrast here because in my perspective, when I speak English, I feel it like I'm going directly to the point, directly to what I want to say, instead of adding emotion or adding flavor. I believe that American people is a little bit like that too, like they are going straight to the point all the time, and it's the way it is. I think there's nothing wrong with that. But I believe that Mexican people, even though we go around the same subject over and over and it may be a little tiring, it's part of us. It's part of who we are, like talking a lot and having these emotions and expressing too much. I think it's the way it is, and I love that about Spanish, and I love that about Mexican people. And last but not least, I'm going to talk to you about my hometown, which is Meoqui, Chihuahua, located in Mexico. Well, I have to say I was born in Ciudad Juárez, Chihuahua, which is an American-Mexican border right here, like 2 hours away. And Meoqui, it's approximately 6 hours from here, from Las Cruces. And I just love this town. I was living in Juárez for 10 years, the first 10 years of my life. Then I moved to this city called Ciudad Delicia, Chihuahua, which is neighbor to Meoqui, Chihuahua. It's like a 5-minute drive to get there. And I lived there in Ciudad Delicias for like 5 to 6 years. And then I moved to Meoqui, Chihuahua, in which I've been living 7 years, I believe. And I have to admit that at first I was really embarrassed to say that I was living and that I was from Meoqui, Chihuahua. This is because it is really a small town. You don't have almost nowhere to go. We don't have a movie theater. We don't have like clubs. We have one supermarket. And well, I was like, kind of embarrassed. How do I say I'm from this small town? They're gonna imagine me with a hat and my boots. But you know, I fell in love with it. It is an agricultural town. It is a small town. Almost every people live and work for agriculture, for nuts, for chili, for a lot of things. And well, even though at first I was embarrassed, now I really miss it. I wish I was there right now. The people there is amazing. The people there is so kind. Everyone knows each other. Like if I'm walking and someone meets me, they ask my last name and they know, oh, I know your grandparents and I know your mom. I was with her in high school. And I think that's beautiful. Some people think that it's really like, they don't want that. But I really believe that in my town, people are loving and they support each other and they are always helping each other out. And that's why I love Meoqui. It's really a small and safe town. And we have very beautiful landscapes. We have the river San Pedro. The Rio San Pedro, it's a beautiful place to go with your families. A lot of people from all around the state go here to have a picnic or to spend time with their families because it is simply beautiful. The sunrise and the sunset, it's beautiful over there, and we have pelicans coming every year, which is beautiful. And also we have the basketball team, which is called Cerveceros, which I don't know how to translate literally, but it's like beer men, because in Meoqui the biggest industry is the company Heineken, which makes beer, and well, the basketball team is called that way because of that. And the people there absolutely love basketball. All of the town go to the stadium to support the team every season, and I just love it. It's very beautiful. And well, although there's not much to say about Myoki, it's a really old town. It's older than the towns around. Even though it's really old, it's not as developed as the other cities, but I think that it's kind of its magic. I believe that Myoki, it's a pueblo mágico, which is like a magical town. It's how you call these small towns in Mexico where you can go to nature and find yourself and just like enjoy like life. And that's why I love Myoki. And well, this is the end of my section 3 of this literacy project, and let's go to the conclusion now. I have to say that I really enjoyed this project, even the part of writing, because I know that's the most annoying part, but I really enjoy it because I never stopped to think how literacy and how culture and how language had an influence in my life. And it was really fun to discover that it actually does. And I really enjoyed this project. I hope you enjoyed knowing a little bit about myself and about my project. And I thank you for watching me, and we'll see you in class.